Breathe in, breathe out. Josh Allen is still a stud. What's good, Bills Mafia? We're back for a Week 2 matchup versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And I know Week 1 was rough. It sucks. We lost in an ugly, ugly fashion. However, it's a new week and it's a new day, so we got a new game to talk about. And as always, we're going to start with some problem players. The first problem player I have is Davante Adams. No matter who this guy's quarterback is, he's still going to make plays. His week 1 was pretty solid, putting up 6 receptions and 66 yards, but overshadowed by his teammate Jakobi Meyers going 9 for 81 and 2 touchdowns. Like I said, Davante Adams can make those plays by himself, but him being so good, like I said with Garrett Wilson last week, opens up everything else for all the other guys. If he's getting doubled, you've sure as hell got single coverage. I do think the Raiders offense is very similar to the Jets, even at this point with Aaron Rodgers out. Similar wide receiver talent, great running back, average O-line, okay tight ends. It doesn't get any more similar than that. So does that mean we expect the same thing? We'll get into that later. Second problem player that I have is Josh Jacobs, the running back. And in week 1, he didn't play that well. He only averaged 2.5 yards a carry. Against a sometimes leaky and a little bit inconsistent Bills run defense, Josh Jacobs sure has a chance to bounce back this week. He was the best running back in the league last year, running for over 1,600 yards, which is a lot harder than people think because everyone thinks it's so easy because of Derrick Henry. But in the modern day NFL, it's not that easy, and Jacobs is one of the league's premier runners. Gonna give the Bills fits, plain and simple. There's no way to avoid it. Like Davante Adams, he's gonna get his touches, gonna make his plays. I think the key for Buffalo here is to get ahead early, neutralize this guy, and don't let him get the ball in his hands on the ground. And I would surely like my odds better going against Davante Adams and the Bills trying to contain Josh Jacobs. That's where I put my money if I was a gambling man, which I'm not. Don't gamble, kids. Now for pushovers for this game. I don't think it's much of a surprise. I'm going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo. All this guy does is win. Yes, he won in week 1 in a pretty squeaker garbage game, 17-16. Nothing spectacular, but again, a win is a win. A win is a win. With all that being said, yes, he does win, but he's very prone to self-imploding and choking and losing your team games. He's not elite by any means. We know this. Part of the reason why I think it's crucial for the Bills to get a lead early in this game is because Jimmy Garoppolo's game thrives on having that lead. You're not going to win much if you're the Raiders if you're playing from behind with this guy. So for Buffalo to get ahead early in this game, it not only neutralizes Josh Jacobs, but it neutralizes Jimmy Garoppolo too. Another key to just shutting Garoppolo completely down is to pressure him early and often, because if you do that, he's not very mobile. He's not known for running, throwing on the run. He can do it if, God forbid, it came to that, but it's not like Josh Allen throwing on the run. If you get in his face and you get him on the move, I think that's a recipe for Buffalo Bills success, so that's what they should do. I mean, they know better than me. They know better than you, but I think we all are thinking the same thing. He's not that good. Like, put it this way. If I told you both quarterbacks would get pressured the same amount of times all game long, who are you going to take to win? I'm taking the Bills and Josh Allen because I know Allen can extend those plays. Garoppolo cannot. Make them play fast, make them play quick, make them turn the ball over and give it to us so we can score more points. Giving credit where credit's due, this could be a trap game. Like, we just lost in week 1. We're not invincible, clearly. The point I'm trying to make is Garoppolo is human. They're all human. We're all human, maybe. I don't know. You don't fear Jimmy Garoppolo. You fear a guy like Josh Allen because of what he can do. It's as simple as that. Now, moving on to the Bills side of things, let's talk some offensive expectations. We all know Josh Allen had one of, if not the worst game of his career in week 1 against the Jets. 3 interceptions, a brutal fumble like he was looking at a butterfly. But I have faith that he'll bounce back, and so should you, because in his career, he's 5-0 after committing 3+ turnovers. That's a pretty impressive record. Knowing that, we know he's going to bring the results. He's going to bring the heat. He's going to bring some swagger to this game. He'll get the job done. But the empty words have to stop. We hear this every time he has a bad game. He takes all the blame. Quite literally, it was his fault this time. There's no more excuses. Empty words mean nothing at this point. All of it just means nothing. You can say, yeah, it's my fault. I threw the picks, yada, yada, yada. Stop playing whatever that was, hero ball, deep ball to short guys and double coverage. Just stop it. And we know he's capable of it too. He does it in the playoffs. He doesn't play like this in the playoffs. So why can't he play like this in the regular season? That's a question that in that building has to be answered, because we know what he's capable of. Why can't he just stick to it? He gets a little antsy out there. Now with that, I think Buffalo will try to air it out early just to get some of those Josh Allen jitters out of the system. With all that being said, I think they will try to throw it early just because get that confidence going. We obviously had a terrible game throwing the ball last week. Why not try to get it going a little bit? Like if they can connect on a big play early, a big passing play, that'll be huge for Josh Allen's confidence. Gotta get him happy, gotta get QB1 into it early. Hopefully with that, you can win by a lot, because we want to win football games. And if you do all that, you should be able to win by a lot, putting up a lot of points. Hopefully the defense does its job. Now, as for the running game, it kind of appeared in a press conference this week that Ken Dorsey has been holding back on the Josh Allen designed runs to get rid of the bad habits of running like a buffoon. I was kind of confused. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, and I can't play it because I don't want to get struck down, but they're limiting what he does with his legs, and they're going to progress into it as the season goes along. It'll exponentially ramp up. Allen's not the only part of this run game, though. We have James Cook, and I want to see more out of him. He had a pretty good week 1. It wasn't great. Cook had a lot of nice runs throughout that game. He wasn't spectacular. There wasn't a lot of big runs, but he was efficient. He was just under 4 yards a carry. As the season goes on, you're going to see Buffalo running it more and more with James Cook and Josh Allen as they try to find out what works, what gets them in the rhythm, what's effective, and what wins them football games. I just want to see Josh Allen stay healthy. So the better James Cook is, the better this Bills run game is without Josh Allen. It's going to be huge for the Bills going forward. Next, we got to talk some defensive expectations. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the way I see the Raiders offense and the Jets offense, give or take Aaron Rodgers, it's pretty similar. You've got an X factor at wide receiver. You've got a great run game. And minus Aaron Rodgers, even with Aaron Rodgers, an average quarterback at this stage of his career. Outside of the 80-yard run that they gave up to Breece Hall last week, the run defense was pretty solid. They averaged giving up 3.3 yards a carry, which is really good. With that being said, you can never trust the Bills' run defense because you frankly never know what you're going to get. Still have a question mark at middle linebacker. Who knows when Dorian Williams will end up there? When is Christian Kirksey going to get called up? We got to wait and see, because that changes things. The middle linebacker is pretty crucial in stopping the run game, and we don't have a great one. Digging deep into the trenches, though, the defensive line looked pretty good in week 1. We saw that Leonard Floyd sack that led to the unfortunate Achilles tear of Aaron Rodgers. Injuries aside, Leonard Floyd looks like a dog. Ed Oliver got in the backfield a little bit. Jordan Phillips made some plays. They looked electric, and they looked ready to eat this season. Can you imagine what it's going to look like when Von Miller comes back? Oh my God. They should end up beating up on that Raiders offensive line pretty easily, unless the Raiders come with a better game plan, because again, this Bills defense is just pretty streaky, to be honest. The secondary looked quite slow, to be honest, outside of Christian Benford, who hauled ass to tackle Breece Hall on that run. Probably saved them 4 points. But Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer look like they might have lost a little bit of a step. They look just not out of it, but they look just a little bit slower. Not up to speed. The hope is that those guys haven't lost a significant step, at least yet, because yes, they're going to get worse with age. Athletes always decline as they get older, but we need those guys on the back end. You don't want to have to go to the backups. Hopefully they stay healthy, first of all, because they didn't last year. If they continue to get worse this season, trouble could be brewing in Buffalo. But we still have Josh Allen. It's not that big of a deal. It's really just a big issue against the really, really fast teams like Miami, who have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who will torch the secondary. They'll destroy us. They will bend us over and just... I think McDermott's aggressive play calling will be enough to neutralize the Raiders offense a little bit. I think, like I said, we match up very well with them. So hopefully McDermott calls the right plays. Garoppolo stinks. And we just win. We just win. I just want to win. After last week, I need the first win of the season, and so do you. I think the storyline for this game is, can the Bills bounce back? Can they get the job done and avoid the 0-2 hole? Meanwhile, the Raiders are trying to take a 2-0 record and take the lead in that division, because even if the Chiefs win and beat the Jags and the Raiders win, the Raiders are 2-0. None of the other teams in that division are undefeated right now. Buffalo's in big trouble if they go 0-2, and I think people need to start worrying about... I'm not worried about losing this game. Buffalo would be in big trouble if they lose this game. I don't think they will, but if they go down 0-2, you're in a division with Miami, who is a Super Bowl contender, as much as we hate to admit. The Jets are still going to be solid. They've got a great defense. And you can never count out New England. They've got Bill Belichick. They've got a great defense. What is their offense going to do? I'm not too sure. Buffalo has to show up ready to dominate. They have to dominate early, all game long, put their foot down, and show the rest of the division that it still runs through Buffalo. And with that, that is it for this video, Bills Mafia. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, and in the comments down below, let me know your score prediction for this game. Are the Bills going to win? I think they will. I think we both agree on that one. On your way out, please subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. You know, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're new here, I would appreciate it if you could help the rest of us get there. And that's all I got. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?